Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio, and today I'm working on a project for the Gina B. Aarons design team. I'm going to take one of her stencils here. This one, I think, it's called Foursquare. I can't remember which number it is. I will put it in the description box below. If I forget, remind me, leave me a comment, tell me I forgot. Anyway, Gina B. Aarons has an Etsy store where she sells these stencils and stamps and lots of fun stuff. So I will put links in the description box below. Make sure you check it out. You can check out her store. And I'm covering it up, but if you use Margel15, you'll get a 15% discount off in her store. So that'll also be down below. Check it out. So I'm just putting these patterns on here. I really like them. I think they're kind of fun. Just randomly, just creating a patterned background somewhere to start. Okay, and now it's dry, and I'm going to take some papers. These are scraps of paper from her digital downloads that you can get on her Etsy store. And I keep all my scraps because I can use them. So I'm going to pick out a few that I thought would work. And I saw this interesting method of collaging and thought I would give it a try. So now that I've picked out a few, so you put down the matte medium. I'm using Mod Podge, and then just kind of randomly, and then we're just going to stick those on and let them dry completely. So I did leave them for a while so that they could be completely dry. And my background might be a tad busy, but it's okay. I just kept going with that stencil. I couldn't help myself. Alright, so I've got those all on there, and I'm going to let them dry and come back to it. Okay, so now they're dry, and what you do is you kind of tear along the edges of where it's glued down. to create these uneven sort of shapes. Now I did notice if you're not careful, you can tear the whole top off, and then all you'd have is a white spot. So I had to be a little bit careful when I was tearing. But it did, I think it made kind of interesting sort of, see there, that took a lot. There we go. Anyway, it makes an interesting sort of background, and I don't know, even though it's torn and it's patterned already, it kind of calms down the background a little bit. Okay, my background is a bit busy, but it was fun. I always like experimenting. So this is another one of her stencils, and I should have been prepared and written them down. She has two that are kind of like this. One is a figure kind of on a lotus blossom, I think. And then there's this one. I think this one might be called Breathe. Anyway, I'll leave it in the description box below. I promise I'm going to do it. Anyways, I'm just using black because I want to make sure that it's going to stand out against all that busyness. Alright, so I decided after that I would do a little shading around. So I'm actually using a charcoal pencil and a blending stump to create a little bit of depth behind it, just to help you see the form. Just because everything is so busy, I thought that would help a little bit. Now I decided it needed to be sitting on something. So I start doing a border, and then I decide it needed some substance on that, on the ground, so that our little figure looks like it's sitting on something. And then I'll just go around and complete the borders. Okay, and so now you'll see the reason I put that figure off to the side there is I want to put another element on this page. And I've been playing around making handmade paintbrushes. This one would never be able to be used like a paintbrush, but it's strictly decorative, so it'll be okay. These are more strips from Gina's digital downloads. I just took some of the scraps that I had left over, cut them into strips, and then I'm wrapping them around these branches. I wasn't sure at the time if I was going to do 1 or 2, so I get started on the second one, but I only end up using 1 of them. So I have a random stick sitting around here with some paper twisted around it. Alright, that's about done. So the next thing I do is try to come up with what's going to be on the brush. And I actually have this. This was from another project. Not sure if this is going to come out before or after. Probably after. So if it comes out after, I will link the other video. But I did a dollar store challenge, and this was actually from a makeup brush. And I had just cut it off, stuffed it in that paper, and tossed it in the trash. And then started doing this one and was like, oh, well, I could make a fake paintbrush with that makeup brush stuff. So I don't do a good job of gluing it, so this is why I say it could never be used. Because most of those bristles will just fall out. This is not how you make a paintbrush, people. This is how I make a fake one. I'm just using Fabri-Tac, and then I'm just rolling that stick in the Fabri-Tac, and then I put more glue on it just to try and get everything to stick together. Yeah, you see me. And Fabri-Tac's kind of stringy and clingy and messy when you're using it on loose bristles or loose fibers. So I switch over to a different fabric glue that I got on clearance. Hence the orange sticker there. And I just put a little bit of that on the string, and then we're going to tie this around, and hopefully it will hold it together enough for it to be decorative. See how they're just all the bristles are falling out there. So this is a piece of lamb's wool. This is actually straight off the lamb. It's actually got pieces of dirt and stuff in it. I've had it since college. I won't admit when that was. Suffice it to say, it's been a good several decades. But it's just been hanging around in my yarn supply, and thought, well, just add it to this and maybe it would make it a little bit more interesting. Sorry, I keep coughing. And then just using some yarn that kind of goes with the colors, I thought, to tie that down. These paintbrushes are inspired by an artist that Gina had shared with me. So now I have a whole bunch of them, a whole bunch of these artistic brushes on a Pinterest board because I thought they were so interesting. But I thought it would be fun to include this in with the art piece. Now I gotta clear out my mess. There we go. Bring that back, and it's gonna go right there. I kind of like it. Oh, and I was picking stuff up, and this feather, I'm sure I collected it at some point, just fell down. So I thought it wanted to be on this page. So we are going to add this feather to this page, or this piece. I don't know, I think it'd be really fun in like a shadow box type frame. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put some poke some holes with my pokey tool and tie it on. And that's how we're going to secure it. It wouldn't be complete without a quote, right? So I found this one that I really liked. Thought it went with the stencil and the whole paintbrush and everything. And it says, "Art is when you hear knocking from your soul and you answer." I love that. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know by leaving me a comment. Share it with your friends. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and would like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.